I apologise if you can hear like a faint noise in the background. I've got my fan on because it's absolutely roasting in my room right now. I don't really have anything specific I need to talk about today. I don't know, I'm having a really bad day and I just need to sort of vent. I don't know, I think, well, I woke up this morning and I do what mostly everybody else that's chronically online, like me, does. I check my phone for any notifications, realise I have none, and then I scroll through Twitter or doom scroll through fucking TikTok, and I then realise just how terrible life is getting and how terrible the world is. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not in the US, so I can't really talk at detail about what is happening. But, I mean, it's just so depressing waking up and just hearing about the new Gestapo that's here to stay. And there's not a damn thing we can do about it. And then you hear in the UK, where I am, oh look at this, they've made an interactive video game for people ages like 11 to 18 or whatever it was, where it asks you about opinions on immigration and whatnot, and if you pick the wrong ones and you get put on a watch list and sent to counter-terrorism therapy or some bullshit like that. And it just makes you think, well, I'm 24, and granted I've been an adult for about 6 years, going on 7, and I'm exhausted. I wake up every day, and the first thing I see is, oh look, there's been another murder, and half the world is like, you know what? Yeah, it was justified when it clearly wasn't. And then you wake up the next day, and lo and behold, there's been another murder, and what you guess? Half the world obviously sees it as murder, and the other half sees it as completely justified. And you just think, man, didn't we learn anything from the 1940s? Didn't we learn anything from the 1910s? Like, how have we got to a point where we were like, you know what, let's set up all of these things, let's put these treaties in place to ensure that another major global scale conflict never happens again. And then let's just have one dickhead in power that just kind of throws all of that out the window and puts fear into everyone. And I know it might sound stupid listening to me thinking, well, you're not even in the same country, you know, why are you worried about this? You know, why is this sort of scaring you, in a sense? And I'm like, it doesn't matter where you are. I feel like you should be scared. It's a mark of respect for the gravity of the situation. I mean, I would like to firmly believe that we are already in some sort of global conflict. I mean, it's not like one day we're going to wake up and say, hey, World War III started. Like, it's not going to have like a proper start date. It's not like a Fortnite update where it's just listed on Twitter or some shit. Like, we're already fucked. And then obviously you've got everything of, well, I mean, you can tell from what I'm doing right now. I'm playing a fucking video game while talking about my problems to a brick wall. And I love playing video games, building computers, tinkering with electronics. I can't do that now, because prices are so exorbitantly high, because for some reason a few rich bastards that have openly said that AI will probably be the end of us still want to push it to everyone. And so, I mean, I upgraded my computer. It's pretty good. Like, it'll last me years to come, but I feel like I'm starting to have to get used to the fact that I'm never going to be able to enjoy my hobby properly ever again. I'm not rich. I'm not going to be able to afford local computing in 20 years. It's all going to be based on a fucking server that's limited to 100 hours a month. And every day, genuinely every day, I wake up now thinking, well, my philosophy is, if things get that bad, I could just top myself. Nothing's stopping me. I mean, I don't really provide anything to the world as is, so it's not like anybody's going to really care that much. And I mean, even if they do, they'll get over it pretty quick. And then I wouldn't have to go through all of this shit. I mean, it's like I can feel the only freedoms I have in my life being stripped away from me day by day. Online rights, real life rights are being stripped away. And there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. It sucks waking up every fucking morning, and the only thing I can think is, well, how many rights have I lost now? That's the first thing I look for. I open Twitter, not because I want to be depressed or anything by looking at the news, but I'm genuinely concerned about my future. I don't think I have one. I mean, for starters, I was so depressed I could not really ever see myself living past 20. Now I'm in my mid-20s, rapidly approaching 25 years of age. And so I've got absolutely nothing to do because I never expected to make it this far. And now that I have made it this far, what am I rewarded with? Oh yeah, everything you love is slowly being stripped away from you, and you just are forced to watch with absolutely nothing you can do about it. And that is the most depressing thing I think I have ever seen. I don't want to say I've had a terrible life, you know, you should all, I don't know what the sort of phrase would be, you should all sort of just look at me, I've had a terrible life, feel bad for me, because I know people out there have had it worse. I can understand people have had it worse, and people have had it a lot worse than I have, and that sucks. And for that, I feel like I'm not really allowed to complain about the cards I've been dealt. Because, yeah, I mean, everybody has bad cards dealt in their deck. But it's just, what makes me special in that? Nothing. Everybody has got shit in their life they would rather not have to deal with. And so I don't feel like I'm allowed to complain. And then when I do complain, it's about tiny stuff like, oh, I'm not going to be able to build a computer anymore. I'm not going to be able to buy another console in my life. It's such stupid shit. And I hate it. I adamantly hate the fact that I feel this way. Because I don't feel like I deserve to be pissed off or angry or upset. But I am, and that just makes me feel selfish. I wake up every goddamn morning, or every afternoon, depending on how shit I've slept, which, knowing me, is probably quite terribly. And here I am just thinking, well, it is what it is, you know, and there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, it got to a point where late last year, about August, September time, I bought myself a 16 terabyte hard drive, like an external hard drive, to install loads and loads of games on, and like movies and TV shows, YouTube videos, things I wanted to preserve in the case that the internet got massively censored and I couldn't do anything anymore. But then I realised it doesn't matter if they censor it. I'm not going to be able to have the fucking hardware to use it. Like, yeah, I've got about 13 trillion spare laptops somewhere in my house. But they're all crap. They're all shit. The best machine I have is the machine I'm currently playing on. When that goes, the next best machine I have is a mining card that I've turned into a PC. And that's probably been used to bastard death. So when that goes, the next best thing I've got is a fucking handheld. And when that goes, the next best thing I've got is a server machine that runs on DDR3 and an i3 2100 or some bullshit like that. It's gonna happen. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And that's the depressing thing. I was prepared for the censorship of the internet. I downloaded Wikipedia. I downloaded, like, about 11 to 12 terabytes of games I've wanted to play and want to preserve, and that I sort of thought, if things get censored, I have enough here for the rest of my life that I can make do with. And then it's like, yeah, it's not really going to work though, is it, if you can't play it on anything? Like, I had a look the other day. Like, I bought the RAM kit I have. So, for those of you that know about the specs and stuff like that, I bought 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. I also bought it in 6,000 megatransfers because that is apparently the best sort of price to performance you can get for the CPU I have. And I also, and I was told that lower latency is probably better than speed in this case, so I bought a kit of CL28 RAM. And that cost me literally just over 150, about £150, 14 pence. And I looked the other day, £499. And the fact that that's only going to get worse, and will probably stay that way for years to come. And it's not like game devs out there are going to be like, oh, you know what, let's optimize our games instead to keep up with the people having to be stuck on lower end hardware. No. It's not going to happen. Of course that's not going to happen. Pfft. You serious? No. This is my main hobby, and I can see it getting worse in real time. Every aspect about it is becoming enshittified by AI and the rise of, like, online censorship. It's just... I thought when COVID struck in 2020, that was the worst life would get. It would take us a few years to come back from that, and that after we came back from that, it would be back to normal like it was sort of early to mid 2010s. And I have never... I mean, I don't mean any offence to people that have lost people with COVID, but I wish I could go back to 2020. Holy shit, it's so much better than what we've got now. I would rather wake up every day and be stuck inside with the economy slowly failing because of an outside... well, with something of an outside influence that we can't control. But no. The world is now getting shit. Not because of something we can't control, but because of people in power that just want more money and to have more power. Like, life for the average person now is just so bad. The global economy is in shambles. Nobody can afford to buy a house. I've come to the conclusion in life that I am never, ever going to have, like, my own property. Never going to own my own property in my life. I'll be lucky if I'll even be able to afford to rent, because people with that property are going to have, like, a monopoly, and so they're just going to be able to ramp up prices, and we're all going to be fucked and living in communes or on the street. But it's fine, because I can just top myself. And at this point, I over the years, I've always sort of imagined that I'm never going to live to either see death via old age. Like, I'm never going to be able to have that luxury of living till I'm like 75, 80, and dying in a hospital bed peacefully, surrounded by my loved ones, my children, my grandchildren, my friends. But instead, I'm going to die by my own hand, completely alone, penniless. And it's sad to think that most of my peers will probably end up exactly the same. I don't really know, to be honest. Every day I wake up and I get hit by a new curveball that I just didn't expect. And so I have no idea what to expect. And I know that whole phrase, expect the unexpected, but that's just complete bollocks, because that's not physically possible. And it just, I wake up and I get whiplash. I get physically sick seeing some of the things that I see in the world. And it's nice that people are fighting back for what they believe in. But what isn't nice is that there's nothing I can do. I mean, I'm a physically and mentally disabled 24-year-old. Like, my time in life is pretty much past at this point. There's bugger all I can do. But I just have to live with that. Whole world's going to be at war. I'm not going to be able to enjoy my hobby past what I have now. Unless I win the lottery, which won't happen. And then, well, I die penniless and with nothing. The thing is, though, it sucks knowing that I can't even afford to die now. And I'm not well off. I don't have any savings. I don't have a job, so I don't have a pension. If I were to die now, right now, that would be the worst thing I could do to my family. Not because I'd be dead, but because they're going to have to fork out potentially thousands for a funeral. Unfortunately, law states you can't just lob someone off a cliff once they die. I hate that my main priority in life now is not to live, not to survive, but to make my death as convenient as possible. And that is a horrible, absolutely awful mindset to be burdened with. But I suppose in today's nihilistic, I don't even know what the word would be. Well, today's nihilistic fucking society, that's all I can really do. The one thing I've poured all of my life and expertise to, technology, will soon be outsourced to third-party cloud servers, so they're not going to need people that have knowledge in local computing anymore. And I know, again, that feels like, I feel like a fucking dweeb even saying that. Because that's not really a reasonable concern. That's me thinking, oh god, nobody can build a computer anymore. And I hate it. I really, really hate it. But I suppose it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about that, and that's probably part of what the system is after, really. And I hate to sort of say that because it makes me feel like the fucking Joker saying, "Oh, society made me this way." But I mean, it's when you wake up every morning and the first thing you read is a story about how this private police force is killing its own citizens. Like, what else am I meant to think? And then after that, it's, yeah, the things you love, you'll never own anything anymore. That phrase, "you will own nothing and be happy," has never been more prominent than it is now. And then you got fucking Jensen Huang, whatever his fuck-ass name is, the CEO of NVIDIA, going, "Oh guys, actually we shouldn't talk bad about AI. AI is actually really good for the world, and I think that all this negative press is really harmful." Like, of course you think it's harmful. You're the main fucking reason why the AI bubble exists, my friend. I don't even really want to get started on how much I despise AI. I mean, me and many others firmly and rightfully believe it is the invention of the devil. Like, it's one of those where, you know, why bother thinking for yourself when you can have someone think for you? I mean, I can't tell you how many people on Twitter I've seen asking Grok for its opinion as if it's some sort of sentient being held in a cage just given a keyboard and access to Twitter. Like, no. It's something that reads data and then spills that data back to you. Like, it doesn't... it pisses me off. And the fact that it's only been this prominent for, what, 2, 3, possibly 4 years at the max? 4 years, and it has done this much damage. It just... I'm so unfathomably angry and upset at the world I live in and the people that run it. It's just... everything's run by power-hungry nonces. And we just have to sit by and fucking watch. I mean, I think that's all I really have to say, to be honest. I mean, yeah, this isn't really a personal thing. Not sort of a problem with me or with my insecurities. It's more sort of a... I hate the world. And I hate what it's become. And I hate that it's become this way as soon as it's my turn to be a goddamn adult. And I hate that it's just... well, it's so normalised. You have all these people out there just going, "Yeah, well, pull your socks up, deal with it, we had to." No. Like, you had to live through the 80s where you could buy a pint of beer for less than £1. Now I have to live through all of my rights to privacy and, like, my right to enjoy the hobbies that I want to enjoy. I have to live through that being taken away. But yeah, I suppose that's all I have to say. This was just one big angry rant at the world that I have to, well, I and everybody else has to live with now. I know these opinions aren't just my own. Like, there are hundreds, thousands, millions of people out there that have the exact same sentiments as I do. Especially ones that weren't so lucky, that wanted to build a computer or something because they wanted that freedom, but now they can't. I was lucky in the fact that I was able to upgrade my computer and actually have a decent computer before all of this came out. So I'll be alright for a lot longer than some others will. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that the world is just... it's going down the shitter. And, well, all the ordinary people, me and you, we're caught in the crossfire. I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm depressed, I'm nihilistic, I'm suicidal. And I've just got to live with it. But yeah. Hopefully this one wasn't too annoying or impersonal for it to fit with this shit ass channel. I don't know. See ya.